Welcome back to One and All. This is our all-time best ever 11 series. Today, we're in North London. We've been here before when we visited Arsenal, but today, it's Tottenham's turn. Fierce rivals of the Gunners, Spurs' stunning new stadium is just 4 miles from the Emirates. They have an arena that rivals Arsenal for sure, but historically on the pitch, they have been lagging behind their neighbours. Maybe this all-time 11 will be able to put it to Arsenal's though. Let's have a look.
Because of shots like that! Amazing, even by his stand.
Whoops. We thought we were getting past the rivalry part, but in goal we have got a man whose career was split between the two North London clubs. Pat Jennings made 591 appearances for Spurs between 1964 and 1977, before making the move from white to red. Jennings would make 327 appearances for Arsenal and obviously turn the love he received from the Spurs faithful into anger and perhaps even hatred. Nonetheless, his sterling career at Tottenham wins him a place in their all-time 11. With Spurs, Jennings won the FA Cup in 1967, the League Cup in 1971 and 73, and the UEFA Cup in 1972. In 1973, he was the Football Writers' Player of the Year, and in 1976, he was the PFA Player of the Year. He was the first ever keeper to win the award, and only Peter Shilton has done so since then. At right back is Stephen Carr, who when he was just a young boy at 15, left his native Dublin to go on trial with Spurs in London. The manager at the time was Argentine club legend Ozzy Ardiles. A young Stephen Carr impressed, and between 1993 and 2004, he made almost 300 appearances for Spurs. He didn't really break into the first team until the 96-97 season, but then, at a young age, he made the starting place his own. Unfortunately, he was plagued by injuries, to the extent he even missed the 2002 World Cup, but his consistent, impressive form up to then earned him a move to Newcastle upon his return to fitness. Ledley King is well known for being an extraordinarily talented footballer. It is well known that King had so many injury problems that he barely took to the training pitch for long spells of his career, and that, in fact, on many occasions, he played through great pain and risk. Nonetheless, he is a club legend who also represented England at Euro 2004 and the 2010 World Cup. From 1998 to 2012, King would make 323 Tottenham appearances. As a one-club man, he was adored by the fans, and he was often heralded by opponents as one of the best defenders in the Premier League. Alongside King at centre-back is Stephen Perryman, who played a whopping 866 games for Spurs. Perryman was not quite a one-club man like King, but he spent the vast majority of his career at Spurs from 1969 to 1986. In that time, he won 2 FA Cups, 2 League Cups and 2 UEFA Cups with the club, and in 1982 he was voted Football Writers' Player of the Year. Undoubtedly a club legend, with a trophy record that any current Spurs player would be jealous of. On the left side of defence, we're keeping up the chemistry with the inclusion of Gary Mavitz. As Perryman was coming to the latter stages of his career in 1984, he won a UEFA Cup alongside a young Mavitz that was in the early stages of his own football path. Mavitz would enjoy a 16-year spell at Spurs, and in fact would spend 11 of those years as club captain. He helped Spurs to another FA Cup triumph in 1991. He was a loyal and dedicated servant who joined the club from Bristol City and stayed until the very end of his playing career in 1998. Back into the 21st century we go as we build the midfield of our all-time Spurs 11. Without doubt, we have to include a man who is quite simply one of the best midfielders of any team in the 21st century and perhaps beyond. The man who made a name for himself at White Hart Lane before catapulting to countless successes with both Real Madrid and his national team Croatia. Of course, it's the little magic man that is Luka Modric. A joy to watch, Luka Modric is one of the best players in world football, and he is well into his late 30s. He has won countless titles, carried Croatia to a World Cup final, and quite frankly, he possesses skills that other top-level footballers can only dream of. His vision and range of passing is exquisite. His close control and dribbling means he is almost impossible to get a hold of. And above all, his football brain has an IQ level so high that he conducts entire games to the pace and rhythm which he desires. A true marvel in the midfield, Modric made the transition from potentially good to absolutely world class during a 4-season stint at Spurs from 2008 to 2012. Whilst at Spurs, he emerged as a stunning talent. He won the Club Player of the Year award and was named in the European Championship Team of the Year too. He is now viewed as an all-time great and of course is a Ballon d'Or winner. Glenn Hoddle joins Modric in the middle and without doubt is another man that had some magic in his boots. Hoddle scored 110 goals in 490 games for Spurs. In 1981 and 82, Hoddle won back-to-back FA Cups with Spurs, and he was named in the League Team of the Year 5 times between 1980 and 1987, before moving on to AS Monaco in France. There, he showed his class too, winning a league title in his first season against the odds. Despite a managerial stint that didn't go quite to plan at White Hart Lane from 2001 to 2003, on the pitch, he is remembered as a fabulous footballer and Spurs legend. Dave Mackay joins Hoddle and Modric in midfield. The Scot won a league and cup double with Spurs in 1961, and then in 1962 the FA Cup once more. In 63 it was the European Cup Winners' Cup, and then yet again a few years later in 1967 he won his 3rd FA Cup with the North London side. Mackay had a fantastic career and was an inaugural inductee to both the English and Scottish Football Hall of Fame. Up top, this Spurs side are absolutely stacked, starting with Gareth Bale, the Welsh wingback turned winger turned forward. Legend for Spurs, Wales and Real Madrid, this man was as clutch as LeBron James, turning up with big goal after big goal after big goal. Last minute for Wales, goal. Champions League final for Real Madrid, goal. At Spurs, Bale's form skyrocketed after a transition from teenager to superstar via one of the best hat-tricks of all time when he scored 3 against Inter Milan in the San Siro. In the 2012-13 season in particular, his last at White Hart Lane before his big money move, Bale had the world audience watching on in awe as seemingly every single weekend he cut inside from the right and smashed a goal in with his left from the outside of the box. He did it every time, but he was too fast, too strong and just too good for anyone to stop him. That year, he scored 21 goals in just 33 league appearances. He was unstoppable and rightly named Premier League Player of the Season. Up next is the late great Jimmy Greaves. Did you know he once scored 9 Serie A goals in just 10 Serie A games in a brief spell at AC Milan? Well, from Milan, he signed for Spurs for £99,999. A strange fee that meant he wouldn't be dealt the burden of being the first British £100,000 player. He scored 268 goals for Tottenham, won 5 trophies, and of course was part of England's 1966 World Cup winning team. Last but not least, it's the only man that has scored more goals than Jimmy Greaves in the white shirt of Spurs. It's Harry Kane. He is also now England's all-time top goal scorer and a legend for club and country no matter what happens next in his career. A player of the highest calibre, Kane is an excellent all-round number 9 who can score, supply and do the dirty work holding up the ball or playing on his own too. His goal scoring alone though is incredible and he would be welcomed into any team in world football with open arms. So there you have it, plenty of strength at the back, a bit of magic in midfield and an abundance of goals in the attack. World Cup winners and all-time top scorers, one-man club legends and historic national captains. Is there anything missing from this Tottenham all-time 11? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below and we can't wait to see you in the next video.